Constitution of India, Part 11, Chapter 2, Administrative Relations, Article 256 to Article 263. General, Article 256, Obligation of States and the Union. The executive power of every state shall be so exercised as to ensure compliance with the laws made by the Parliament and any existing laws which apply in that state, and the executive power of the Union shall extend to the giving of such directions to a state as may appear to the Government of India to be necessary for that purpose. Article 257. Control of the Union over states in certain cases. The executive power of every state shall be so exercised as not to impede or injudice the exercise of the executive power of the Union, and the executive power of the Union shall extend to the giving of such directions to a state as may appear to the Government of India to be necessary for that purpose. The executive power of the Union shall also extend to the giving of directions to a state as to the construction and maintenance of means of communication declared in the direction to be national or military importance, provided that nothing in this clause shall be taken as restricting the power of Parliament to declare highways and waterways to be national highways or national waterways, or the power of the Union with respect to the highways or waterways so declared, or the power of the Union to construct and maintain means of communication as part of its functions with respect to naval, military, and air force works. The executive power of Union shall also extend to the giving of directions to a state as to the measures to be taken for the protection of railways within the state, where in carrying out any direction given to a state under clause 2 as to the construction or maintenance of any means of communication, or under clause 3 as to the measures to be taken for the protection of any railway costs have been incurred in excess of those which would have been incurred in the discharge of the normal duties of the state, if such direction had not been given, there shall be paid by the Government of India to the state such a sum as may be agreed, or in default of agreement as may be determined by an arbitrator appointed by the Chief Justice of India in respect of the extra cost so incurred by the state. Article 258. Power of the Union to confer powers, etc. on states in certain cases. Notwithstanding anything in this Constitution, the President may, with the consent of the government of the state, entrust either conditionally or unconditionally to that government or to its officers functions in relation to any matter to which the executive power of the Union extends. A law made by the Parliament which applies in any state may, notwithstanding that it relates to a matter with respect to which the legislature of the state has no power to make laws, confer powers and impose duties, or authorize the conferring of powers and imposition of duties upon the state or officers and authorities thereof. Where by virtue of this article powers and duties have been conferred or imposed upon a state or officers or authorities thereof, there shall be paid by the Government of India to the state such a sum as may be agreed, or in default of agreement as may be determined by an arbitrator appointed by the Chief Justice of India in respect of any extra cost of administration incurred by the state in connection with the exercise of those powers and duties. Article 258A. Power of the states to entrust functions of the Union. Notwithstanding anything in this Constitution, the governor of a state may, with the consent of the Government of India, entrust either conditionally or unconditionally to that government or to its officers functions in relation to any matter to which the executive power of the state extends. Article 260. Jurisdiction of the Union in relation to territories outside India. The Government of India may, by agreement with the government of any territory not being part of the territory of India, undertake any executive, legislative, or judicial functions vested in the government of such territory. But every such agreement shall be subject to and governed by any law relating relating to the exercise of foreign jurisdiction for the time being in force. Article 261. Public acts, records, and judicial proceedings. Full faith and credit shall be given throughout the territory of India to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of the Union and every state. The manner in which and the conditions under which the acts, records, and the proceedings referred to in Clause 1 shall be proved and the effect thereof determined shall be as provided by law made by Parliament. Final judgments or orders delivered or passed by civil courts in any part of the territory of India shall be capable of execution anywhere within the territory according to law. Duties relating to waters. Article 262. Adjudication of disputes relating to waters of interstate rivers or river valleys. Parliament may by law provide for the adjudication of any dispute or complaint with respect to the use, distribution or control of water of or in any interstate river or river valley. Notwithstanding anything in this Constitution, Parliament may by law provide that neither the Supreme Court nor any other court shall exercise jurisdiction in respect of any such dispute or complaint as is referred to in Clause 1. Coordination between states. Article 263. Provisions with respect to an interstate council. If at any time it appears to the President that the public interest would be served by the establishment of a council charged with the duty of inquiring into and advising upon disputes which may have arisen between states, investigating and discussing subjects in which some or all of the states or union territories and one or more states have a common interest, or making recommendations upon any subject, and in particular recommendations for the better coordination of policy and action with respect to that subject, it shall be lawfully for the President, by order, to establish such a council and to define the nature of the duties to be performed by it and its organization and procedure.